Welcome back again, live with Sirus Migration as usual on every Thursday at 3 p.m. We're a bit late because I think we just did an announcement with the breaking news. So there are, as we always say, there are many breaking news coming these days. So as soon as we get the breaking news, we wanted to give it to you and without making it too complicated. My name is Sirus. I'm an Australian registered migration. Some of you already know me. Today we have a really good long topic to talk about. Before we go into the topic, I would like to summarize some of the hot breaking news or the immigration updates to you before we start the session. What is available right now in what are the new changes announced by the Minister this morning about Australian immigration framework. So 485, there are a couple of major changes for the duration of the grant and also for the people who lost their opportunity or who was stranded outside of Australia during the 485. So if you had the major change in there is if you had a 485 visa which was ending on 1st of February 2020 or after, then and you were stuck offshore or stranded offshore, then you can apply for a replacement visa. So there is no legislation out yet. It's only the announcement. With the announcement, what we read and understood so far from this is it will be a replacement visa, so you can have another 18 months or 24 months, whatever the visa you had then. That gives you a fair opportunity to complete the working program or whatever the plans you had or the migration program you had. So we believe it was a wonderful opportunity given by Australian Department of Home Affairs to visa applicants. The other change that we see from this change also is with the temporary 485 vocational pathway or the general work stream, people who completed trade courses. It used to be an 18 months visa grant. Now they can apply for a 24 months or a 2-year visa grant. I think this is only going to be available for the new applicants, not the replacement visa. Similarly, for people who have completed or the applicant who have completed their master's degree by coursework, they can now apply for a 3-year 482 or the temporary resident 485 or the temporary resident visa instead of the 2-year normal 485 visa. Mastered by research applicants already had the 3-year work 3-year temporary resident stream. Now they have extended the same opportunity for people who have completed the 485 visa and completed their master's program with coursework. So these are the new changes in that 485 sector. These are more concerned towards the international students who are now completing and also studying and who are also in 485 visa, who got the visa expired on 1st of February 2020. The other major change that we heard this morning also is lately is the 482. Too much information. So the next change that we've seen is the short-term skill occupation list is getting revised, and there'll be more occupations coming into the short-term skill occupation list. It is going to be a wonderful news, giving opportunities for applicants or the candidates who's got skills to go bigger, and also gives opportunities for other occupations as well. Having said that, brings us back to the original plan, today's topic, 494 visa program. So it's going to be a very long topic that we will make it short as much as we can. One of my favorite, because I really enjoy working with regional areas and also regional Australian employers, and to discuss, help each other with their skill shortages and their problems. So this has given me a lot of opportunities by regional employers to work in their field and understand their business. Right now I'm working with quite a few businesses in far north Queensland as well as Northern Territory and certain areas in Orana region in New South Wales. This which allows more options and more opportunities and more incentives for skilled migrants to migrate to Australia. So let's take a look at the employers, the general chart that we normally discuss, and give you an overview before we start going into the 494. These are, as we have already seen in our previous videos, these are the options for employment nominated visas in Australia, or if you have an employer who's willing to sponsor you, these are the pathways for you to get to it. And also you would notice on right upper corner there's information such as MLT, SSL, STSOL, ROL, Dharma list. So today's topic, we're going to pretty much cover up all of these lists, because for you to participate in 482, you can only go through with an occupation listed in medium to long-term skill shortage list or short-term skill occupation list. And short-term skill occupation list in 482 also limit you for going further into permanent residency pathway. The magic today we're going to discuss, or the exciting information that we're going to discuss today, is with 494 visa allows any of these anyone who's in any of those skill occupation lists, whether you're in medium to long-term skill occupation list or short-term skill occupation list, regional occupation list, Dharma list, all of these people, it's got an opportunity for them to go into permanent residency pathway, and also it allows you to it also eases some of the eligibility requirements and protocols for some of our candidates who's having issues with their age over 45 and English or permanent residency pathways, etc. So let's have a look at the 491 pathway and what are the major outlines on 494. Sorry, did I say 491? Again, it's a big day. I'm talking about 494 today. Regional employer-sponsored, skilled employer-sponsored regional visa. So this is these areas being identified by the postcodes. So in normal discussion, the way I remember it, or the way you could, it'll be easier for you to just guess the area, is if you think about Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, major metropolitan areas, and outside and radiation of about 50 kilometers or so, and beyond that is regional for this purpose. And it is also, if you're going through 494, it is important for you to check the postcodes when you find out the employer's information. If you have any doubts there, please be in touch. So with this, again, depending on the occupation that you're going through and your permanent residency pathway or your pathway to work in Australia, you can go through either employer-sponsored stream, labour agreement stream, or if you have any subsequent entrance, let's say you're in one of those visas and down the track you got married, or you decided to bring your child offshore, or partner offshore bring in, so you go through subsequent entrant pathway. So I will go in detail about the employer-sponsored stream and the labor agreement streams soon, and then we'll discuss some of the common issues, common areas, and then I will go into the question and answer sessions too. So let's go into next slide, Mario, and then look, before you go into 494, we have to clear out the major requirements or the major eligibility requirements for this visa. As of for most of the other visas, your age has to be 45 years of age, and then you will see within these two exemptions are available. How are these exemptions are available? If you're going through a Dharma program, which I will come into you soon, we talked briefly about labor agreements. Dharma is designated area migration programs. So with the Dharma agreements, some of the Dharma agreements in certain areas or certain regional areas, they will waive off the age or English or some of the restrictions, so they might widen the occupation list. So with the Dharma program, they give you age exemptions for certain occupations. I think normally 45 is the age limit for 482s and 186, but if you, for an example, I think chefs in Far North Queensland, they can go up to 50. Sales and marketing manager in Far North Queensland, into my memory, I think they can go up to 55 years of age. So there are big incentives available in this. The next eligibility criteria is you need to, as for any employment nominated visa, you need to be nominated by a sponsor. A sponsor is your employer. An employer has to be eligible before they can sponsor you and nominate you as an employee. So you need to have relevant qualifications and work experience. The relevant qualification can be normal 494, anyone from medium to long-term skill shortage list or short-term skill occupation list. And then if you can't find the occupation there, then the next level is to go through the Dharma list and the labor agreements, etc. One other thing also with the 494 visa, you need to have 3 years work experience, not 2 years, to be qualified. So you need to have that leeway. And also with the Dharma list and with the 494 visa, even with the occupation that you have, certain occupations have much more relaxations through 494 than through 482. So 482 is the visa that we discussed last week. 494 visa, again, I'll pick up an occupation as an example. When someone sponsors an accountant in a metropolitan area, they're required to have certain requirements. There is a caveat for that occupation. Employer needs to have 5 employees, 5 full-time Australian employees working there, and the turnover has to be $1 million a year. So through the 494 program, and also you need to have a bookkeeper working underneath the employee, the accountant, which that way accountant doesn't do any bookkeeping work. With the 494 program, those caveats are being relaxed. So it's only one example, and there are many other examples for caveats and stuff. When it comes to 494, it's been relaxed. Again, like 186, for 494 program, you must have a positive skill assessment. Depending on the stream that you go through. Again, Dharma, you don't necessarily have to have a skills assessment, because Dharma also allows occupations like, for an example, NT, they allows bus drivers. Orana, they allow truck drivers. NT again, they allow divers, I think, and there's many occupations like that. So there are many unusual occupations that are not listed in other streams, are listed in this Dharma depending on the shortages they have in those particular designated areas. So for you to learn more and understand more, if you like any specialized information, please be in touch with us. We will expand a little more about it. Again, 482 visa, we learned we only need to have functional English, but with the 494 visa, you need to have vocational English, competent English, which is, if it's IELTS, it's 6 in each band. PTE, I can't exactly remember the requirement. Competent English, you can look it up in Google anytime, so I'll leave it as that. You need to be in good health and character. You can't have major criminal histories behind you, things like that. And with the 494, it's not a permanent visa, so Section 48 is going to have complications. If you have any debts to Australia, you have to have all that paid. So this is mostly the main requirement for the applicant in terms of getting into a 494. Again, if you're applying for 494, one main thing is you need to have an employer, and that employer has to have the place of work in a selected postcode within that state. So if you need any clarification on those postcodes, be in touch. We will talk more about it. And Mario, you want to go to how you process this? Employer has to again apply for a sponsorship like 482, and once you get the employer sponsorship application approved and become a approved sponsor, then they need to put a nomination application to your occupation that the candidate's applying for. And once the nomination is approved, or together with the nomination application, depending on the circumstance again, you can apply for the visa together with nomination or after the nomination is approved. That needs to be decided by your migration pathway and your current situation. Again, it is advisable for you to contact a migration agent who's qualified and experienced in the area to understand how you do it in there, and when should you apply for the application and the nomination and the visa application. We talked about the Dharma list. So if your occupation is not in medium to long-term skill shortage list, or the STSOL, or the short-term skill occupation list, then, or if you have any issues with your age or English or etc., it is also important. It is then important for you to consider the Dharma list. Dharma lists. There are about 7 Dharma lists available in Australia at the moment, depending on the area where you are. So NT, they are one of the first ones to come up with the Dharma list. We have the Goldfields WA, or the Western Australia one. South Australia and Victoria's got the Great South Coast one. Victoria's got the Great South Coast Dharma, and Adelaide's got the Technology and Innovation Dharma. And South Australia Regional, again, there's another Dharma. And Orana, New South Wales got the Dharma. I like that Orana one because Orana's got a big shortage of truck drivers. So truck drivers is one of the good opportunities in Orana, New South Wales. And then the Far North Queensland is one of my favorites. I work with quite a few employers, Again, if you are a chef, front office staff, sales and marketing specialist, that sort of occupation, you can always check the Far North Queensland Dharma list through Chamber of Commerce Cairns. They've got all the occupations, so give us a call or ask us. The occupation list will help you out with it. If you have some of those qualifications with 3 years work experience and eligibility for it, we can also introduce you to employers. And remember, this is not a fee paid activity that we conduct, so we can just introduce you, and if the employer decided that you have enough experience, they will invite you to participate in the program, and they will sponsor you and provide you a job opportunity. So that needs to be sorted out with your employer and yourself, but because we know how badly they are looking for the employees, we are more than happy to introduce you to these employers anytime. Again, that's pretty much 494, or the regional skill nominated employee nominated visa stream. Back in the days, there was a visa for regional work called 187 or RSMS, or Regional Skill Migration Short Scheme visa. This is not the same. That 187 has now been abolished, but this is the 494 is the latest version of that was sort of stream. Again, 494 is not a permanent resident visa. It allows you to live and work in regional areas for 5 years after successfully completing the obligations in regional, working in regional for 3 years plus. Then you'll be eligible to apply for 191 visa and get your permanent residency that way. So again, you will some people go there to just get qualified as well. After 3 years, if you meet the conditions, you might still be able to go through go to permanent residency through 186 visa, 186 direct entry streams as well. Sounds complicated because there's so many things attached to it, but once you get to do it all, we do it all day, every day, so it's not as complicated. So if you require any support, whether you're an employer or an employee looking for skilled employees to support your business venture, or if you're looking for an employer who's willing to support you through this regional by providing you a job opportunity, be in touch. We'll help as much as we can. Not that we can provide you jobs, but we can introduce you to certain employers. Employers also, we get many inquiries. We got some candidates who's looking for opportunities. Whenever we can do an introduction, we're happy to introduce you these clients. Be in touch. We'll support wherever we can. So I hope the information was helpful for you in this regards, but let's go and see who else is, if I can help you with some of the questions that you may have. I'll just go to Facebook and answer some of those questions there, and then see. Pasindu Vimukti, he's got a question. I have already applied for 485 visa, but it has not been granted yet. I'm residing in South Australia, so if my visa granted before the duration change has been effective, and if I will be granted the visa for only 2 years, will I be eligible to apply for another 1 year extension under this new change? So most likely there is no clarification in this, Pasindu, and I completed my master's in Melbourne and recently moved to Adelaide. Oh, nice. So there is no specific information in this regards. It is as I said, the information is very new and there is no legislation to back it up as yet. I have not checked Legend within last half an hour, so if it's been updated already, excuse me, but I will check we will have to wait till the legislations get updated. Most likely, it depends how they will present the legal instrument, but most likely, if you common practice, if you apply for a visa and you will be granted the visa with the rules and regulations that were effective at the time of the application. But again, we saw in April 2018 or 17, there were some changes to 457 when they got abolished and 482 came up. It was effective for everyone, so we don't know yet. So let's stay tight. But you've done a very good decision moving to South Australia in a way, because it's I would say I always call it South Australia the migration heaven because they've got a lot of options available through many different ways, and the whole South Australia, the Adelaide, is considered as regional, and also they even have greater regional areas and greater options. Then, so you've done a good move, passing the good luck with it all. Santosh Raksha Pandey, please tell me about 482 short-term visa, please. So 482 visa, if your occupation is in either one of medium to long-term skill occupation list or short-term skill occupation list, if you have 2 years work experience after qualifying for your occupation through your studies. So if you're a chef, you're looking at about certificate 4, and then 2 years work experience. But if you're an accountant, you need to complete your bachelor's degree. So there are only examples. So depending on your occupation, once you have to complete, you need to have the education qualification or the academic qualification and 2 years work experience. The English requirement is English functional, or the requirement for your occupation. For an example, if you're a vocational English, if you're a chef, you only need 5 with 4.5 the lowest, and if you're a registered nurse, you need to have IELTS 7 in each band, or the professional English. So it depends on your occupation. And the good thing is you don't have to have your work experience post qualification. At the moment, you can have your qualification as your work experience as long as you completed that while you're studying. That can be counted as your work experience for that 2-year meta as well. You need to have at least 2 years. So they're the main things. But last week discussion was on 482 itself. So if you would like to go back and hit last week's discussion, you'll learn a lot more about 482, and we've done some graphical information for you as well in there. On top of that, we have produce many videos on if you go Sirus Migration 482 visa, you'll have many videos on the subject as well. But if you like to learn to hear specific information about your own circumstances, by all means feel free to give us a call or book an appointment through an email. We will talk about your individual circumstances, Santosh. Thank you. Rishad Rizan, I have applied for 485 visa from associate degree in civil engineering. Haven't received yet. Will I be getting 18 or 24 months? As I said before, Rishad, my prediction will be it'll be 18 months. Then again, as we don't know the current legislation, it can be where it can be different, but my prediction would be it'll be for 18 months. Anshul from YouTube, is there any news from general skill migration for offshore people? Of course, there are programs now available in South Australia already. And other states are looking for the options as well. Yesterday, Queensland already announced they would welcome the Section 48 BARD applicants as well. So, depending on the state, yes, there are offshore people available, and coming in July, there'll be lot more available in next year. But depending on your qualification and the background, yes, there are. So for South Australia, don't forget, we have discussed this many times, but at the moment, the minimum requirement for South Australia is you need to have Professional English Plus. If it's IELTS, it's 7.5. I'm not very good at PTE score, remembering the PTE score, so look it up. 7.5 equivalent to PTE. And then you need to have 8 years work experience. There are over 70 plus occupations available there. So, yeah. Tasmania also welcoming, and Western Australia also have a slight program. So there are many options available for offshore. So depending on your occupation. Tatsara Kannangara, hi, I have applied for student visa last Monday. Congratulations. Currently I am never married, so didn't include partner details. But I'm hoping to get my engagement next January. After that, can I add her as a dependent? Of course, you can't add the dependent before you get the visa granted. I think it sounds like you're a Sri Lankan, and hope you're in Sri Lanka at the moment. Your applications are processed from Western Australia, so by the look of it, they're going to give expedited decisions on these applications. So yeah, so by the look of it, by January you should receive your visa, but then again you have to wait for the visa to be granted. So if you need any help, Tatsara, be in touch. Otherwise, see you in Australia. And congratulations, and wish you all the best with your application as well. Ashan Al Hussein, Ashan, sorry, mate, I speak to few people like this. I'm a registered migration agent, and my job is to teach people how to get the best and most beneficial outcome from your skills. And my intention is not to guide you through a fake skill. That's, in my understanding, it is a misguidance, and also it is you will regret it one day if you notice. There are many ways that Australian Department of Home Affairs have to scrutinize those applications. So the circumstances are, if you once you get caught, you'll be blacklisted and barred from applying to Australia for many years. So I wouldn't encourage you to do that, fake applications. Any chances for IT occupation in short-term list? Look, IT occupations are medium to long-term list, and I would try to get you into a MLT SSL if you have the proper qualification, because short-term skill occupation list doesn't allow you permanent residency pathways unless you're applying for 494 through a regional. So anytime possible, I want to try get you the most beneficial visa. So that's I think there are many IT occupations in short-term medium to long-term list. Short-term list, obviously you will have some as well, and IT occupations are also in priority migration skill occupation list, or PMSOL. They get processed in a prioritized manner, which you will get the visa granted or the decision made fairly early, or in matter of months. Next question from Nitesh Ramanan. Nitesh, 1-2 or half. So you got 3 questions. So the first question, I'm Nitesh. Hi Nitesh. I've already traveled to Australia under subclass 400 and now I have a student visa and I'm hoping to travel in few months. Well done. And hope to see you soon. 4 years back. I worked for 2 months. Okay. That's not a question. Then I'll go to the second part, yeah. But I lost those documents, so I never disclosed about the employment in any of my previous visa applications. Now that the company has to agree to issue a letter certify my employment. Can I add this to meet my shortage of work experience to point while applying for PR? Will this cause any issues in future? No, I think if you genuinely have done it, and there are many ways you can prove that you worked. You can show your bank statements, pay slips, reference letters from colleagues, customers, clients, and management, and also you can show your superannuation or employment provision fund documents and taxation documents and any other evidence. And also I would advise you to explain when you apply for this next visa, to explain to your case officer that you did not provide this information in previous application for certain whatever the reason it is, but you want to disclose it because this is more relevant for your work visa. So yeah, if you can provide that, then that's good. James J. Migration program is well known for changing the goalposts while the game is in progress. I would say it depends on how you look at it. Some glasses are half empty, some glasses are half full. I'm the half full guy, so there's a lot of people trying their best to. There are shortages somewhere and there are skilled people, so I encourage them to get together and look for the sunshine. So did I answer all the question for Nitesh? Yes. Arpit Patel, got a question. I applied for 494 before 4 months ago in agricultural sector. When they issue my visa, now how much processing time for 494 in agriculture sector? Agriculture, I think, depending on your occupation, they'll be giving you a priority because they are looking at expediting applications in agriculture and horticulture sector. Good luck with your application, Arpit, and I wish you all the best with the results. Vinay Kumar, I have a 482 visa valid till 6th of February 2022. Travel is planned on 8th of January 2022. Can we lodge visa extension post landing in to Australia? Can you brief the process? So I'll answer that question, Vinay, before you go. And depending on your circumstances, if you still have the job available, and also if you're in the relevant criteria, of course you can apply for another 482. That's not a problem when you come here. Then again, remember you need to be nominated, and nomination needs to be lodged, and you still need to go through the labor market testing, etc. So it takes 28 days plus a couple of days. So with all these requirements, please be mindful of your timeline and talk to a migration agent as soon as possible to get the relevant advice to your own circumstances, because you're in a very thin timeline. Vinay Kumar's second question is getting medical tests done in Australia easier than in India? What documents are required for an extension visa? Are they the same as the one you submitted? Most likely the documentation are very similar, but then with the nomination you might have to do the labor market testing again, etc. too. So yeah. Gregory is on a student visa, bricklaying, 1 year left at TAFE. can the student visa student apply for 485, or how does the transfer to PR pathway? Very good, Gregory. 485 is your next option. You got good news today. You once you done your skill assessment through TRA, you can apply for 485, and then you can go into 189, 190, 491, any of those pathways. But bricklayers, as your demand is so high, we have seen many people getting sponsored as well through 482 and 494 categories, depending on your work experience. And also, just in case if you were to go through the 482 pathway, remember, whatever the work experience, relevant work experience you're gathering while you're studying can, depending on the circumstance, be counted towards your 482 as well. So keep working in bricklaying sector, and don't forget, when your school's not in progress, or if you outside of your semester time, you can then apply for work full time as well. So just keep working as a bricklayer, and then you can go into 485, then look for the other option. If you need specific information, make us an give us a call. We'll set up an appointment one-on-one with you. Tapan Parrot, when will the states start nominating for Offshore 190? I just told it is available for South Australia and Tasmania and a few other states right now, but they'll hopefully be fully open by July next year. But at the moment, they're already open. Paramasivam Arumugam, I'm really sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Paramasivam, is it possible to get $55,000 earning per year for 491 SNR visa at South Australia? I'm waiting for the visa grant. Thanks. Well, 55,000 if you work full time wouldn't be a big drama or a big barrier. So if you're onshore, start looking for the options to work in anyway. Brian Adam, any progress in agriculture visa for Indonesia, sir? Agriculture visas, I think they're starting to work on it. I can't remember, was Indonesia a participating country? I think you were, but they haven't started it. So I have to look it up. Brian, if you like, be in touch. We'll pass on some more information to you about it. Gregory again, the new Advanced Diploma of IT, ICT 60220, does it have the same outcome as the previous Advanced Diploma of Telecommunication Engineering? Look, Gregory, I can't be specific about the CRICO's numbers, but the new Advanced Diploma in IT does some of the one of the ICT one of the Advanced Diploma in IT do allow you to get the telecommunication engineering outcome. This is one of the very good courses which allows you to get a skill assessment without having work experience, because your qualification already has the hands-on experience, and you can then be assessed through Engineers Australia. So hope it answers your question, but if you need any further clarifications, give me a bell or send me an email. Just going back to the previous question about Indonesia. Yes, Indonesia is in one of those countries for agri visa. So yes, you should hear the system very soon for the visa requirements. Got many questions coming up. I will go up to Vinay Kumar's or Rishad's question about 482 and then finish it off for the day. Had a big day and have a big day coming up as well. So Jyotiram Yadav, you got a question about when will the other states open for offshore skill migrations. We had a discussion with Queensland migration Queensland yesterday. I don't think migration Queensland will be opening, or Victoria will be opening, or New South Wales will be opening for offshore migration applications until the next financial year, which is 1st of July 2022. Only my opinion, but I don't think it'll happen. But again, my opinion. KP, I'm currently working in Singapore from last 10 years. Wow, that's great. I would like to know ENS 186 visa details. I would like to apply through my employer. How much are the chances waiting time for 186 solution software architecture? Software architecture is in very good demand. I think you're in PMSOL as well. So the timing is about 2 to 3 months, which is very good. 186 is going to be a whole new topic that we are looking to talk to you about next week, if I'm correct, yeah? Because we talked about 482s and 494s. So next week we'll be talking about 186 in detail. It's a big topic, but we have done many videos on 186. So if you go to YouTube, type Sirus migration 186, you will hear a lot of questions, a lot of information, and also we've done a question and answer session about 186 as well. If you like to have one-on-one session, set up an appointment with one of us, KP, so we will discuss your own circumstances. I will offer you a free one-on-one consultation with me. If you could call us on one of our contact numbers, or send us an email through admin@sirus.com.au. Nadezda Lee, hi, does extension of to 3 years for 485 visa apply to all current visa holders with masters by research degree? Right now, if you're applying now, yes. Nitesh Ramanan, if my employment is in India, WFH and my salary. What's WFH, Nitesh? I'm really sorry. Can you please decompose it? My salary is issued by Indian bank account. Does this affect my visa condition if I work for 40 hours while on a student visa in Australia? If my employment is in India, work from home. Oh, okay. My salary is issued in Indian bank account. Depending on your employer, this is a very good question actually. You have a work limitation while you're working while you're studying in Australia, 40 hours per fortnight while you're studying. So during that period of time, you're supposed to work in Australia. So if my interpretation is these work limitations apply to Australian employments, then if you're working in an Indian job, or if your employer is in India, I don't think it affects Australian job opportunities. So I don't think I see a problem there. But if you like to talk in detail about it, be in touch with us. How much you charge for supporting ENS 186 visa for my employer? It varies from what's our scope of work. It can, rough idea for employers, it can work vary from $2,000+ for an application. So be in touch. It depends on the scope of work, KB. Vinay Kumar will be on same end score code the job role during renewable like on the earlier issue visa, and no changes in the code. Yeah, I think I can't really see a problem there. If you're in the same ANSCO code, when you renew, depending on the nomination validity, you can either, there is no renewable, it'll be an application, reapplication for the visa. Rishad Rizan, I worked as a civil drafter on student visa for 482. Can I claim those part-time work experience as a student, because 485 will be for 18 months? Good news, it's going to be 24 months for you. But you can also count your work experience for 482 as long as you have completed all the most of the ANSCO duties. So it depends on, while you're studying, how much of the job duties are relevant to your occupation requirement. Hope that answers, Rishad. So our last questions from Vinay. I'll just quickly update you. Vinay Kumar, is bridging visa you will be before you get the new renewed visa? I don't understand. I think what you're asking is, would you be getting a bridging visa before you are applying for a visa? If so, when does the bridging visa start? Is by the day you lodge the visa. So the way it works is, if you come to Australia on a 482 visa and a couple of weeks later your visa expires, so when you apply for the next visa, let's say your 482 visa finishes on 30th of, for the argument's sake, 31st of January 2022, and you apply for the visa 482 next new visa on 20th of January 2022, your bridging visa will be affected from the day after. So as soon as the visa expires, not the day after, as soon as your visa expires, bridging visa A will be will kick in. Thank you very much for joining us. It's been a long day. I don't know if I bored you guys too much, but hope the information was beneficial for you, and I was able to share some information with you. If you haven't subscribed to our channel again, please hit the subscribe button, like our pages, Facebook page, and the bell icon. If you have any questions, type on the comment section below, or set up an appointment with us through our phone number or the email address, so we can discuss this further. Until we see you 3 p.m. next week, stay tuned. We'll be coming up with lots of breaking news as they come out. Stay safe, and see you next Thursday with 186 visa program information, and to answer any of the questions that you may have. God bless you all. Have a nice weekend. Bye-bye.